My name is Roderick Angle. I'm a real estate agent based in Long Island City, but I'm currently quarantined in the Catskills. Today, I'm talking to you about Stimulus 2.0. I have a very special guest today. Her name is Erin Nadeau. She's an attorney based in New Jersey, and she specializes in helping small businesses and sole proprietors get financial assistance from the federal government during this current coronavirus quarantine lockdown and the accompanying financial difficulties affecting our country and the world. So as you may know, the government released its second round of SBA PPP loan funding on Monday, April 27th. If you're a sole proprietor, an independent contractor, or self-employed, you need to know about this program because it's a potential source of funding for you during difficult economic times. I'm going to cover three general topics today. Number one is PPP loans. Are you qualified? Have you applied? Should you apply? Where should you apply? And if you have applied already, what to expect next. Number two, we're going to talk about the EIDL, Economic Injury Disaster Loan, and how does that relate to a PPP loan. We're also going to talk about pandemic unemployment insurance. And stay tuned for the end, because I'm going to answer the question that everybody's been asking. Can I apply for all three programs at once? Now listen, before we bring in Erin, press that button right there and subscribe to this channel, and press the bell so you'll get notices every time I post a new video. I'll be posting new videos once a week, bringing you some basic tips on personal finance, as well as some insights into my life and the real estate market in New York City. Okay, so I'm here with Erin Nadeau. She's an attorney based in New Jersey with the law firm of Jardim, Meisner, and Susser. Erin has been working with her small business and sole proprietor clients to get financial assistance from the CARES Stimulus Act. So she's got a lot of experience with this, and she's here to answer some of my questions and help us along on this somewhat confusing process. Hi, Erin, how are you?
Hi, how are you? Nice to be here.
Okay, so let's dive right in. First, let's talk about PPP loans. My question is, for people who have not yet applied for a PPP loan, is it too late?
No. They're talking about having even a third round of funding, and just so you know, there's no rhyme or reason for how people are getting approved and the timeline. I've had clients that applied the first day you could apply and still have not gotten approved. I have clients that applied last week and got approved. So it just depends. Some of it's luck, some of it's persistence. You should probably apply to as many places as you can, because I know some of the bigger lenders are just not moving forward to the next step. They say on a lot of them, you're only supposed to apply to one place, but even larger lenders like Wells Fargo, for example, is telling customers to apply wherever they can, because they just can't guarantee that they're going to be able to, process it from them. So my advice is, if you're eligible, apply to as many places as you can. I think I sent you a link, which you'll probably, put up.
Yeah.
They can kind of look and see lenders that are accepting only customers, lenders that are accepting non-customers, third party, such as like Cabbage and places like that will take your information, submit it to the SBA. All of them have to collect your information, review it internally to make sure it has everything. Then they upload it to the SBA. The SBA then reviews it. They then come back with an approval or denial. If it's approved, then the lender will give you, get in touch with you and give you the closing package for you to sign, and then they will fund it. Most lenders, if you're not already a customer, they are going to ask you to open up an account with their lender. And it makes sense to do that anyway, because especially for independent contractors, you're going to want to be very careful in order to make sure it's forgiven. So you want to really show that you're using it for payroll. I mean, even non-sole proprietors, independent contractors, you're going to need to show that 75% of it is used for payroll, because the intention is to keep employees on and give people, the chance to keep their businesses up and running. my advice is just get out there, try and apply to as many places as you can, and hopefully you'll get through.
You'll get in. Get your place in line now. Maybe you get funded on the third round.
Yes.
Right. Okay, so one other thing I wanted to try to answer for folks today is what is the difference and how do they work together between the EIDL and the PPP? I know they're different programs, but they're both from the SBA. So what's their relationship?
So the PPP, they're both loans. The PPP is a loan that's forgiven. It can be 100% forgiven if you follow the guidelines, and we get to that next. But in general terms, you need to use 75% of the loan for payroll costs in order to be forgiven. And there's going to be more specifics on that, but that's just the general rule of thumb with that. For the EIDL loan, that is for other costs. It can be used for payroll, but if you use it for payroll, then your amount of forgivable portion of your PPP is going to be reduced. Think of it logically, they're not going to allow you to get a loan for the same thing twice. So you can't be paying people twice for the same, time.
So EIDL is more for operating expenses?
Yes, you can use it for operating. People can use it for, payroll as well, but it makes sense to do that because the other is forgivable. Other people are also applying for both. And then if you get an EIDL, you can roll it into your PPP because the PPP loan is lower interest rate. I think it's like 1%.
Right.
EIDL is, I think it was like
3.75, I think, yeah.
So, that's another reason, because it may not apply as much to independent contractors, but the one thing that they did state with the EIDL is that they will give you an advance on it. And there was some confusion with that because everyone was saying the way they worded it, everyone thought that they were just, you apply and you get a $10,000.
No, it wasn't. It was $1,000 per employee.
Per employee. So there was some confusion. They've clarified that. So, again, apply for as many things as you can, and then you're going to kind of sort through and say, okay, this makes more sense for me. In normal times, you would only apply for the one, you'd analyze it first and then apply for the one that made sense. But there's no rhyme or reason for people being, the processing time, the approval. You kind of just have to put all your eggs in every basket and then which one makes the most sense to carry your eggs. And the same with, unemployment. You need to apply for that because you're not going to be able to get both, but you're going to be able to analyze once you're lucky enough to be approved for both. You can look at it then and say, it doesn't make sense for me to do the PPP because based on my 2019 salary, I'm going to get more from unemployment. And, you can look at a number of different factors. It's probably more detailed than we want to get into, but it's just looking at whether, you're going to be able to have to pay taxes on it.
Because on unemployment insurance, that's taxable, right?
Yes.
That is taxable.
Yeah.
But a PPP loan is not, whether it's forgiven or not. Is that taxable income?
I'm not sure. The forgiveness probably would be. So basically, the forgiven balance is not taxable on the PPP. And with unemployment, the benefits are taxable. And
so there's something to consider.
Yeah, and you need to look at how much you can get. So if you're $10,000 from the PPP, but you're getting $15,000 from the PUA, then you have to say, okay, I'm getting more from that, but it's taxable, so you have to factor that into it. And then usually with independent contractors, it's not going to make as much of a difference, but you can, under the PPP, pay for, I guess it would for yourself. I think that will be included. You can pay health insurance benefits. That's not part of what you're doing if you're getting unemployment. You're not having.
So do you know the answer to this? If you were to say, receive the unemployment benefits and receive the PPP loan, and you just said yes to everything, in other words, didn't voluntarily turn one down of your own accord, would the government stop one, or would they just fund them both and then ask for it? Are they going to ask for it back later?
Well, what would happen would be that either they could potentially ask for the unemployment back if you're paying yourself from the PPP, or they could state the PPP is not forgivable, and then you would be on the 1% interest payable over 2 years. I think the first 6 months you don't have a payment. So all of those things need to be factored in. It's unique to each situation, so there's no sure that a one size fits all. You kind of just have to look at it. But again, we got to apply for everything because it's not normal way that things are.
Right. So that's really the key here. It seems like just apply for everything, try to get as much in as you can, and then kind of sort it out later. And obviously things are developing on a daily and weekly basis. So by the time you get things approved, you might have more information on what you should accept and what you shouldn't, and what you're going to have to pay back and what you're not.
Your lender, because they'll have more details on the forgiveness guidelines. But I just want to be clear that I'm not advocating that people try and get all of them and then keep all of them and use all of them.
Sure.
You have to look at it because you cannot double dip. They're going to find out. You can't be getting unemployment and then using PPP to pay yourself, and then also, getting, trying to pay yourself out of the EIDL.
EIDL.
Yeah, you're going to have to pick one, but it's hard to know which one to pick, because you could say, I'm only going to do PPP, and then you get denied, and then you have nothing. Or, you know what, I'm going to do unemployment only, and then you get denied, and then you are behind and you can't get a PPP because they're all the money's been gone. So, it's frustrating because our clients like a set path. This is, you need to do A, B, and C, and then you'll get, D. It's not like that.
Yeah. So what would be your last word of advice to people out there that haven't gone through the process yet and are frustrated?
Keep with it. Know that you're not alone. And I think at some point they have to rectify the intention of the program, and maybe third round they'll make some adjustments. I mean, I'm saying third round, it just seems like, there's so many people that have been left out in the cold. Just apply for as many things as you can, and set a wide net, and just be diligent, because you are going to get frustrated. Just stick with it. One client that I was speaking about that got funded today, he emailed me and said, thank you, for, cheerleading me along, because being persistent paid off. But she was so frustrated dealing with this. That's great. That's great. Don't get disheartened. There are people that are getting it and together.
But thank you so much. I mean, it's great to hear that encouragement and some knowledge from somebody who's dealing with this on a daily basis with a bunch of different people. So that's really helpful. And it's great to know that we're not alone and everybody's going through this, learning new skills and taking on new challenges. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. And stay safe, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you.